So super excited. We are down here at Blue Seas Fabrication Northwest. They are the local SeaDek reseller, installer, and channel surfing is getting new flooring. We've had Raptor decking now for just over 5 years, and we've got our usefulness out of it. We're extremely abusive on the decking. We do a lot of crabbing and shrimping and pots everywhere, and we decided to do SeaDek this time to see how well it will last, and I expect it'll last the same, if not longer. And we're also doing some different designs, different colors, some personalization, you know, having some fun with it, right? You know, boats are all about having fun. So let's go down and talk to SeaDek folks and see how they cut the pieces and how they put everything together and what's all involved. All right, we're down here with Jeff at Blue Seas. So walk us through the plant and show us where we're at and getting our decking cut.
Yeah, we're getting really close. We're gonna run some of the sheets today. Yeah, this is our shop. We're up in Burlington, Washington, so kind of in a cool neighborhood where we've got different boat builders around us too. So we do a lot of work direct for boat builders and then stuff direct for customers. But yeah, these are our CNC machines behind us. So we do all of our own fabrication here in-house. So we have digitizers we use to template boats with, and then we will give a little tour of the CAD department where our guys design it, and then we actually fabricate all the parts here. So we order raw sheets of material from SeaDek. They're based in Florida, so we're a local certified fabricator and installer for the Northwest.
So that's a good question there. So I know the Florida market with the heat is horrible on like adhesives and stuff. It's interesting that SeaDek is based in Florida. How well does this stuff hold up in the hotter climates?
Yeah, it holds up well. I mean, we have kind of a different color palette than a lot of the guys in the, you know, kind of southeast use, I think. Like they use a lot of the lighter grays and things like that. Heat's not as much of an issue here. But we can offer and order, you know, those different options for people. But we've had, you know, we've had it hold up really well. You know, there's no perfect product out there, so we've had some things that we've had to work through with customers and stuff as well. But our, you know, SeaDek is kind of the original company that came out with the foam decking product, and they've continued to evolve and test different products and their suppliers, and you know, are always going after the best possible material for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check out the CNC machines.
Yeah. Yeah, these are kind of cool. So we have 5x8 tables. Sheets of SeaDek are 40 inches by 80 inches. So we design the parts, get the parts nested onto a sheet, and then fabricate it. And we'll show here in a few minutes the parts for your guys' boat getting cut and fabricated on our machine. And they're cool, really cool machines. They're automatic tool changers, so they go and grab, we set the file, it goes and it'll grab the right tool, run the correct tool, change the tool, all that kind of stuff. So our operator just needs to change the sheet material after it's done, blow it off, clean it, package up the SeaDek ready to ship or ready to install.
And for installation, do customers install this themselves, or do you guys do it?
Both. Yeah. So we do probably about 70% of our work is installs that we do. We have a shop that we partnered with down in Portland, Oregon, so they do installs down there. We've got a guy in Vancouver, BC, and a new company up there, Blue Seas, BC. So we've got a full-time installer in BC. And then some stuff we ship to people, like we're shipping parts to Alaska, you know, Southern Oregon, stuff like that.
Cool.
But yeah, a lot of it, it's very possible to install it yourself, especially if you have a good basic template. If you don't have a good basic template, it either fits or it doesn't. It's kind of the way we view it. For some of the stock stuff that we're gonna do, we can open up the tolerances a little bit, which help make it, you know, fit a little bit better if it's not quite perfect. But we really specialize in doing like custom fit, the best possible fit for the boat. Yeah, so this is your guys' material. He's getting it ready to go. A big reveal on color.
First secret revealed, the color.
Yeah.
Storm gray with black outline.
Yeah.
Storm gray with black outline.
Yeah, and then we'll get the reveal on the parts when we get it going here in a second. So, yeah. But yeah, we've got all the parts, like I said, get nested into sheet material and then fabricated here, and so our operator gets a file from our CAD designer, and then we've got all the different color options over here. We're actually a little low on stock on some of these right now. We've got a couple pallets of material coming in next week, but we keep like a bunch of stock colors in, and then we'll also have different, you know, kind of 10 to 15 sheets of different color options we found that people like as other options that people can order. And then we can custom order anything from SeaDek. They can laminate, you know, multiple colors together. It's one of the things that SeaDek does. They offer thicker material for bolsters and seating and things like that. So we can order all that kind of stuff, and SeaDek's probably got the broadest range of colors and options. So yeah, the machine will go in and do the pattern first. So it does all the pattern, all that first. And then after that, it'll do the perimeter, and then it has a knife on it that drops down and it actually cuts out the material through the paper and everything too. And the machines are have a vacuum spoil board. So this is an MDF spoil board, they call it. And there's a vacuum pump outside in our mechanical shed, and it actually holds the material down. So that's why I've got the tape line around it is basically just a gasket, and then the vacuum holds it down.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No straight lines. So with the various design patterns, so obviously if we look over at this piece, when I say straight lines, this is what I'm talking about. Because if you do the tan color and the straight lines, it kind of makes it look like teak, you know, kind of. That's what Ranger Tug does on all their boats. That's what Channel Surfing had. So the decking we had was Raptor decking, and it came with the boat. It's a boat show special, and it held up really good, and we got our value and stuff out of it. But it's flooring; it's not going to last forever, right? And the marine environment's hostile. But we wanted something different than the straight lines. Now, SeaDek obviously can do, you know, that same kind of look. We chose diamonds. They also do hexagon, I think it is.
Yeah.
So how long does it take with the different designs to cut a whole sheet out?
Yeah. Yeah, the hexagons and the diamonds and stuff definitely take longer because there's just more, you know, machine passes on it. Like an average teak sheet, if you've got a bunch of kind of smaller parts and the teak lines in it with a straight line teak, is about 30 minutes or so per sheet. These sheets will probably take upwards of 45 minutes to an hour to cut, somewhere in that range. So it definitely does take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many sheets does Channel Surfing take?
Three
sheets.
3 sheets. Yeah. 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 So it definitely, and then we've got some other, you know, additions that you guys did too. So those will take a little bit of time also to route out. So just whenever we get into the custom stuff. So people ask us like, you know, what does it cost to get a logo or things like that? And usually we charge anywhere from $100 to $250, depending on how complex it is. And that's to make up for the CAD time, because we have to like design it so that it'll cut on our machine, because we have certain tolerances we can cut and what we can't do. And then also just the machine time. So extra, you know, 20 or 30 minutes or whatever to cut a logo or fish ruler or boat name or whatever. Yeah.
And that's the other two secrets. We are getting our boat name in the decking, and we're getting a fish ruler as well.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal anything for you. So, don't want to spoil the surprise.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, so it definitely takes a while. You know, simple patterns obviously go faster, and other ones go quicker. That's one of the reasons, you know, we have two machines, and so sometimes we'll have a really complex kit that's taking a while, but we need to be able to, you know, cut and ship stuff to Portland or whatever, so we have two machines or that we can do it, turn stuff around quicker.
Cool.
We'll probably be adding a third sometime in the next year. We'll see.
which piece are we cutting?
This one, yeah, so this is the main cockpit hatch. So you've got the layout here.
There you go.
There it is. So you got the main cockpit hatch is what's getting cut right now.
Oh, that is the proof. Secret revealed right here. So this is center cockpit, port starboard hatches. These are the steps on the side. And we're going a single piece here with our name in it. And this is actually right on top of the transom where the grill would go. So we're doing a fish ruler. It goes out to 30 inches, so that way I can catch the big fish.
You're hoping you'll be able to catch fish.
Yeah. I've been only taking out salmon fishing, so maybe salmon fishing. I got the downriggers and stuff. You know? And then we are doing the cockpit or the transom pieces as well. I like having those out there, but this is what the diamond pattern and everything will look like when it's all done. They're talking about that, like you see usually. So Luzina does this. She does this embroidery, and she's great, you know. So she does this, and she'll be able to take like the picture of your boat on the back of a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or whatever, and it's the 10 needle embroidery machine is like a CNC machine for clothing. Pretty cool.
Or the name of your company.
Yeah, you can name your company.
Name your company, all that. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how it just runs off similar like machine G code. It's like X, Y axis, Z axis, and it's just telling it. So you can actually see if you change a different screen, you can see the machine doing its language as it goes along. So it's really interesting.
Like coloring, filling in the blanks.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I got into this is I wanted SeaDek for my own boat, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool, you know. And we didn't start out by fabricating parts here. We had a shop in San Diego that we used that had the same equipment, and they would ship the parts to us, and then we would install them. And then just kind of through the natural evolution of it, we got the machine set up and got it going. But like I run a detailing business also, and so it was just interesting to me to not just do something I wanted for my own boat, but learn about manufacturing something different in the marine world. So it's been fun. It's been 8 years. We started in 2016 with one of the digitizers that we have that you've got some film of us doing on the boat. Yeah. And then, since then we've grown, and we've probably done about 3,000 boats so far, something like that. And we're running at least 3-4 kits a day. So it's been cool.
Yeah. How's that? Talk about that digitizer. How's that machine work?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a very expensive machine. The ones that we use it's a Proliner, ProDim, and you've got some video of it where it's got a cable that comes out of it.
That's a very cool machine.
Yeah. So it's basically doing. I think it's doing like trigonometry as it's working. So it takes elevation and angle and distance, and it measures back to the head unit. Okay. And so it plots it out, but it's very precise. We've looked at, there's a lot of other different options for digitizing now. So there's like photogrammetry, so you can take pictures of things with targets, and there's other companies that do what we do that use that, but it's not nearly as precise. What the research that we found was that the recut rate is about 20% on those, and if we digitize something, our recut rate is, I don't know, 3%, or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's very few things that have to be recut. They're like $25,000 for each of those machines, so they're very expensive, and you have to calibrate them and stuff like that, but they work really well, and they're very consistent. So
that was really interesting, and you're not measuring anything, you're drawing on the boat.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, you're basically plotting points. It's just like connect the dots on the boat. And one of the things that we do that's a little bit different in the way we template things out is, on a boat hatch, you'll have the edge of the hatch, and then you'll have a non-skid pattern usually, and then you'll have latches and hinges and things like that. And we measure what we call the max, which is the very edge of the hatch, and then we measure the non-skid, the panel also. Okay. We plot all that stuff out in the hardware. And a lot of companies, especially if they're just manually templating, like they're taking plastic and laying down and tracing it, the easiest thing to do is to trace the non-skid and just draw it to the non-skid. That's quick, it's easy, it's whatever. But then you end up with uneven gaps, and you end up with big gaps. And also the edge of the parts don't seal as well because they're not on the smooth gel coat. They're sitting on top of the non-skid bumps. So it's easier for water to get underneath.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I've seen with, you know, some of the Ranger Tug ones is they were patterned right to the edge of the non-skid. And so it's just generally going to be easier for water to work its way underneath.
Yeah.
If you go out on that smooth lip around a hatch or the edge of the perimeter of the deck, you've got more kind of surface for the glue to adhere to.
Right.
And so you go onto that smooth deck. So that's the way we generally do it, is we'll go out, you know, we'll measure in from the edge of the hatch like a 1/4 inch. So it's fairly close to the edge, and then it rolls off with a non-skid.
Yeah, that was really apparent to us. Had somebody asked how hard was it to take the old decking off, and I videotaped Lazina doing it in probably a minute, the whole deck.
Yeah.
And with her fingernails and no tools.
Just getting underneath it and getting after it.
And
Yeah.
once it pulled up, we could, I mean, it was all wet underneath. Yeah, we-
the corner like that.
Yeah, yeah.
We could really see there was water and stuff underneath. It was wet. I mean, that's why it,
Especially the main house.
that's why it was failing. Is water had gotten under it. It had worked its way all the way to the center of it, and just was eating the glue.
Yeah.
From the inside out.
Yeah, yep. And that happens with SeaDek eventually too, but a lot of it is if you do a really good install to start with, then it really extends the life of the product. So one of the things that we do when we install it, and somebody can get this if they do a self-install as well, is 3M makes a Primer 94. It's a adhesive promoter primer, and we apply that around the perimeter of the part to make sure that the edge sticks really well. The other thing that we do that works and helps with that on the install, and what we recommend to people, is to use like a laminate roller to really put some weight on it, because it's got a PSA, which stands for pressure sensitive adhesive. So the more pressure you put on it, the more it'll stick. And if you do that when it's starting and when it's fresh and new glue, you'll get a better seal and a better adhesion. So.
And one other thing we're talking about is ceramic coating. So how does ceramic coating affect SeaDek?
Yeah, if you've got ceramic on the boat, you should, you know, use some abrasion to clean it off. So what we found is effective is like some really fine gray Scotch-Brite pads to kind of scuff and clean that up. Because the ceramic is intended to not let things stick to it, you know. And if you've used a good ceramic, then it's not going to do that. And so having a good, you know, like kind of scuffing it up is the way to remove it. You can't really, like acetone won't remove ceramic coating usually, so using like an actual abrasive to clean it up is a good way to do it. So what we've done on a few boats is taken some acetone and a gray Scotch-Brite pad and just scrubbed it and cleaned it with that. Okay. And that seems to work well.
Yeah, Jared was down doing the measurements, left me a little sample piece and said, here, use this and stick it to the boat, because obviously channel surfing's been ceramic coated. And it was interesting because if I stick it to the side, it comes right off. I mean, there's no tension or whatever. It really won't stick.
Yeah.
And in between where the decking was on the deck, it'll stick there, which tells me it's worn off because it's been 4 years since I took the re-ceramic. But I have one piece that I know it's not going to stick, and that's the fish roller.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll go over that. I've got a gray Scotch-Brite. I'll go over it with that.
If that's smooth gel coat, I would just buff it with some compound. Is it smooth on top up there?
Smooth.
Yeah, just buff it with a compound. Kevin will be mad at me if you hit it with Scotch-Brite.
Okay.
Sorry, Kevin. But on the deck areas, you know, Scotch-Brite would work. But on the if you like the smooth transom lid, just hit it with some buffing compound.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll work well. But yeah, that's that, you know, you do kind of need to think about that. And what Jared did with leaving you a sample is really good, and that's what we recommend. And what we'll do to test areas sometimes is just take a, you know, square sample we have or something, and clean the deck with some acetone, and then stick it on there. And if you get good, you know, if it's stuck down good, then you're good. If it kind of peels up, that's an indicator that you need to get it better.
Yeah.
Also, blue tape can kind of do that too. If you take some blue tape and it sticks good, you know, then that works. Oh, one of the things that I wanted to show you guys that's a little bit different that SeaDek has that other companies don't, and we could do this type of material for a Ranger Tug if somebody wanted to replace their decking, and while they're at it, is this is SeaDek's HD material. It stands for heavy duty or high density, and it's got this kind of tetrapod printed pattern on it, and it's not quite as cozy under your feet as a normal brush material, but if somebody is just really using their, you know, boat for fishing, this is a great product. It's got the surface is a little bit more sealed and it's a denser foam. And so stuff washes off of it easier. So like crab guts and fish blood and all that kind of stuff will wash out of this a little bit easier than the brush material. So, you know, we got, you know, guys with Grady Whites and Kingfishers and things like that. This is a lot of times what they go with if they're just using the boat for fishing. So, but that's one thing that's kind of different that SeaDek has that other companies don't have. This comes just in black and gray currently. They keep talking to us about adding more colors, and probably in the next year or so they will.
And with that, you wouldn't cut this, would you?
We route it, yeah.
Oh, you do?
We do route it in patterns, and it's kind of neat. We can do a sublimated pattern where we just route into the surface, so it just goes down into the gray, but it changes the texture of the material, so it kind of pops. Yeah, it's cool stuff. I mean, a lot of, probably 80% of what we do is, you know, standard teak lines and things like that, but it's very cool to be able to play with different layers and patterns and colors and all that kind of stuff. You know, we've done some pretty unique projects.
Yeah, we really like the teak lines and all. It really does make the boat look good, but I was like, after 5 years, do something different.
Time to switch it up. Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah, and people, you know, like I think of SeaDek as, you know, like what you were talking about earlier is it's going to last for a certain amount of time. You know, Raptor decks last for a certain amount of time. We've had really good luck with SeaDek. You know, we started 8 years ago and we've maybe replaced 4 or 5 kits out of the many that we've done. So we've had really good success with it. But it does eventually wear out. You know, it's got a, what I tell people is if the boat's outside all the time, year round, getting used, you know, getting weathered, you're gonna get 5 to 7 years out of it. If it's, you know, covered, if it's in a covered area of the boat, you might get, you know, 10 years out of it. So it just kind of depends on how you use it.
yeah. So couple other question to ask is talked to a lot of folks, and some folks are like they don't want any decking down because they think that the non-skid fiberglass is easier to clean up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, so this last weekend we went up and did our 4 days of crabbing up at Saddlebag where you used to go, and I don't have decking. I just have the non-skid fiberglass. I'm slipping all over it. I hate it. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I need decking on the boat. I would not have the boat without it.
Yeah.
So tell me how easy what's the right way to clean the deck?
Yeah. What we recommend usually is a stiff nylon brush and then some good cleaner. So SeaDek makes a cleaner for the decking called Deck Magic, and that works well. There's also a product you can get here locally called Z-Care LVP Marine Cleaner. Okay. You can get it at Fishery Supply. I think you can order on Amazon also, but it's the LVP Marine, and it's just kind of a mild, I don't want to call it degreaser, but it's a marine cleaner, and it works really well. And you know, people wonder, like, can you use like a stiff scrub brush on it? And you can. The things that I tell people to be concerned about is you can use a pressure washer on it, but you don't want to go like heavy with it, and you want to be really careful you don't, you know, kind of angle underneath the edge of the material, because that's just gonna cause water to shoot underneath it, and then, you know, like you found, have the glue delam and go bad. Yeah. So
all I've ever done is soap and water and a brush, and then I rinse.
Yeah.
Really what I've done.
Yeah, yeah, and they, like, I had a customer with a brand new deck we just did, I don't know, a few weeks ago, was out for the first time, and his grandson or something like that left a can of something on the deck, and it got a rust ring on it overnight just from the dew, you know, that can rusted. And he's like, you know, oh, how do I get this rust stain off? And there's a FSR, which is fiberglass stain remover. It's kind of a gel glue cleaner. You can get it at West Marine or Fisheries or whatever. That stuff, if you put that on, it's a mild oxalic acid, and it'll eat the rust right off. You don't want to leave it on for an extended period of time, but it'll take it right off.
So speaking of that, so is there anything that'll stain it? Like I'm thinking fish blood, obviously. Salt away.
Oh, salt away.
Does salt away stain it?
No, I've never seen salt away stain it. Yeah.
So Raptor, when they installed it, said don't use salt away on it or get it on it because it will help release the glue. I don't know if that's true.
I haven't seen that with salt away. I have seen that like You don't want to use orange-based citrus cleaners on it, like a citrus cleaner, because citrus cleaners are like what they use to remove adhesive, and so that if you let that sit on there, it will work its way under and start to delaminate the glue from the backing or from the boat. So I tell people to avoid citrus cleaners. I haven't had that experience with salt away, so I'm not sure, but. And then the other thing I've seen is like hydraulic fluid, hydraulic oil. People have had steering stations in the back and had somebody service a steering station, then, you know, dripped all over or had like a leak or something like that. The hydraulic oil will creep underneath and make the glue delam too. So.
All right, so no hydrocarbons, which would be your oils. Probably goes for gas and diesel fuel too, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, gas. If you just spill a little bit of gas on it and it evaporates, it's not really an issue. We've had some people who've had problems where they like have a gas can in a dinghy or something like that, and the gas, you know, burps out of the vent or something and sits and cools underneath the tank and sits there and doesn't evaporate right away, and then it can affect it then. Yeah.
But that's not going to affect the surface of it, it's just the adhesive which holds it down.
Yeah. I mean, if you let it pool on there enough, it'll affect the EVA foam, but yeah, so in general, like, stay away from, you know, grease. And what we found is if you spill some like motor oil or something on it, use a little Dawn like dish soap and scrub it really good. And sometimes it'll still leave a little bit of like a halo or ring, but after a few weeks in the sun, usually that'll bleach out too.
Dawn is what we clean the other deck with, the Raptor deck.
Okay, yeah.
We always use Dawn with a medium brush.
Yep. Yeah, it works good.
And what about like UV? Do any of the colors fade sitting in the sun?
Yeah, they'll change a bit. The browns will fade a bit more. The grays are more color stable. You know, in the past, SeaDek had some like where the mocha, the brown will have like a pinkish hue to it. They've changed the formula on that, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, and that's definitely been better. So it will change a little bit, but they don't fade a lot. Yeah. And there's different ones, like there's one called Terra, which is this kind of taupe tan color. This one's very, very color stable. I've taken this material down to a boat that we did like 6 years ago, and it looks basically exactly the same. And the storm gray that you're getting is really color stable as well. So
I guess that's another thing to think about when you're thinking about colors and what you want, how you use it. Maybe.
yeah, around here, the storm gray, the medium gray is kind of the lightest that we recommend to people. If you know, because you're gonna show dirt and stuff if you go with like a lighter gray. They have a cool gray, which is a really pretty color, but just around here we found that it's not the best option. A lot of people in Florida use it because it's a lighter gray and it's cooler. So it's a good option there. But around here where you wake up in the morning, stuff's covered in dew, and you walk out on the dock, and then you walk back on the boat, and then you got footprints on there and stuff, it just, it shows more stuff.
And for those watching don't know, around here is Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're up in the Everett area. It's by Seattle.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Yeah, so we have, nice summers, we have cooler mornings and stuff, and we'll get that dew, and then boats get dirty. So
what about temperature swings from cold to hot? Does that affect the adhesive at all? More so
no. I mean, if a boat has had water get underneath the adhesive or something like that, and then it freezes over the winter or something, then that can affect it. But we don't see like a huge issue with that. Yeah.
Well, cool. And then, so you guys came out and patterned the boat and stuff. So talk about how you guys sell the product. So you charge it by the number of sheets, and then you set a little bit extra if it's like, more complicated designs or personalization stuff. Any charge for install or charge for patterning it, that kind of stuff?
Yes.
All inclusive.
So yeah, it depends on what the customer is looking for, where the boat's at, and all that kind of stuff. A good probably 70%, 80% of our jobs, we are coming out, we're patterning the boat. Even if we've done the boat before, like a similar model year, all that stuff, there's usually something that's changed. Something's different. Usually it's a dinghy davit that's been added, a seat pedestal or table pedestal that's added or something like that. So it really helps to have a digital.
So it's kind of like my embroidery machine, you're basically just a babysitter and fix any issues coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, watching for possible, like making sure the sheets after they're done, that all the lines get cut. Sometimes if the CAD designer actually makes a line too narrow, the machine goes, I can't go down that, so it just doesn't cut it. So.
When you can have AI like doing all the design work?
There is some automation type stuff that's coming along with it. The problem is for us is like what we've kind of created our brand and our business to fulfill is custom work for the most part, you know. So, you know, I'm excited to try out this with you guys to launch, you know, the first full kit we've had on the website. You know, do a 27 back deck kit and start doing that. You know, so I'm excited about that, and so we have the capability of doing it. But what our company's been geared towards is, you know, doing custom stuff and all that.
Yeah. And the exciting part is getting channel surfing done. You'll have the R27 layout.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the cockpits are the same. The transom, there's a couple different versions of transoms. And then there's always, I mean, if people add anything, it's to the transom, dinghy lift, no dinghy lift, that kind of stuff. So there'll be modifications there, but you'll be 80% of the way done on the next 27 that you do.
Well, and like what I kind of envisioned for the swim stuff is I think the cockpit, we can pretty much just lay out a pattern for somebody to buy the kit. You know, the swim step, we can lay out a basic pattern, but what we probably wind up doing is we have the ability to print out the kit on we have a plotter, so we can use clear like Mylar material, plastic sheet material, and print it out and then ship that to somebody. They can take it and lay it down on the boat, and then they can you know, confirm that all the rail bases and the cleats in the same spot, or they can make minor adjustments to it, and then they can send it back to us, and then we can make those final adjustments and then fabricate after that.
That would work really good for somebody that's not local.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have this shop here, like, so if somebody's got their boat on a trailer, we've got a 28-foot Grady in here right now. We've got this shop here. We can have 2 or 3 boats in here at a time. So if it's a Ranger tug owner who's got their boat on a trailer, they could bring it to us, and we can do the removal, the prep, the install, everything, you know, from start to finish. So that's an option. We do mobile service, basically from Blaine to like down south of Portland. So, you know, we've got the option to do that kind of stuff, and then up in Vancouver, BC too. Yeah. So, and then we've got a shop down in San Diego and a couple installers in Northern California. So we've definitely got a lot of options.
And does SeaDek ever sell direct to consumer, or is it always through you guys?
They do some. They have a few, you know, parts and stuff on their website. But like all the do-it-yourself stuff where somebody wants to pattern their, you know, their boat and send it to us, they kind of regionally send those out. So we work with people in Alaska who are, you know, doing custom stuff. They send us their patterns, or, you know, over in Eastern Washington or down Oregon, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
But for the most part, SeaDek does OEM direct from their factory in Florida and big OEM stuff. And then we do stuff for safe boats here. We do Bricks Marine. We doing some work for Life Proof. So there's, you know, a number of smaller boat manufacturers here too, and so we do a lot of work for those guys.
You guys do Aspen around the corner?
We do. Yeah, they've actually got one of their little Carbon Cat dinghies here right in the shop. Yeah. So we worked with them to design the decking package and the thicker material that they use on the side for the bumpers. We designed that and worked out that with them as where they were going. So
yeah, we were driving up here. Aspen's actually made right around the corner, a big sign on the side of the building.
Yeah, Nordic Tugs is down the road. Munson Boats is down here too. So
You're in a good area.
we are. We found a good neighborhood to hang out in. Yeah.
It was funny because it's right by the Skagit Airport. All the boats by the airport.
Yeah, it's a great spot. So, and it's nice for here too. Like when people bring their boats, like this guy at the Grady, we have a big parking lot, and the roads around here are designed for semi trucks to come in and out. It's a big business park, and so people with boats and trailers, like it's easy. Yeah. So easy access and all that. It's like it's done. It's like those like the model kits, you know.
I was saying like an IKEA commercial, you know.
Yeah.
Some assembly required.
Yeah.
Oh, and you did do that. I saw that in the
Yeah, doing the
I thought it was a
custom
glitch in
split.
the PDF, but
Yeah.
no, they just made that one piece as two to stick together.
Oh, perfect.
That piece with the zigzag, why was that done intentionally?
We did that to kind of hide the split, because I think where it was is that section of the deck was just a little bit too wide for the width of the material.
Ah, okay.
And so Eric came up with that as kind of a cool way to hide the split.
Yeah.
So we're actually we're going to be able to kind of butt joint those together, so you won't really be able to see
Yeah.
it. Yeah. There's just certain, parameters of the material that you have to work with. So
It's this back piece right here. You can't see it here, but there's a zigzag cut through here. When I zoomed in on the proof, I could see that. And I thought it might have been a glitch with the proof that they did. But no, that's actually because of the width of the material and stuff. But back to a clean slate.
We don't have to be.
All right, let's talk to the CAD guy.
yeah.
How familiar you guys are with the
Let's
process.
talk that way to the camera.
But so we bring all of those scans in and then work in a series of cells along here so that we can save our steps and keep everything in layers. So then we come in and align all the scans to each other to get an idea of what we've got. Make sure that we don't have any missing areas of the scan, areas of the boat. Cross-reference that with photos from it to make sure that we're not missing, like if there's a piece of hardware or a screw in places. Once that's kind of scanned in, let's put it in perspective, you can kind of see how they'll come in. This one actually came in pretty flat, but they'll sometimes come in with parts on edge depending on how the scanner chooses to do that. Once we have those aligned, we'll then move into our next cell here and trace the individual curves. So you get an idea of where the max is and take into consideration our tooling. So we can't cut all the way down to a super fine point or the material gets fragile.
This is kind of what I was talking about earlier about if you look at this, you can see lines of, this is a non-skid pattern here. And then you've got the full perimeter of the deck and the hatches. And that's where, we take that extra step to measure both of those so we can get a better fit.
And use that as a reference for when we're going to split parts as well. So the part splits are where you've got a waterway, which helps seal that SeaDek down to the surface. Once we have that, we then come back and do offsets from that outside perimeter just to give us a little bit of wiggle room for installation and clearance, and then add in part breaks. So we've now split this into, well, fortunately on these, there aren't a lot of splits that you have to do.
There's the one zigzag that you did.
Yeah, so we can take a look. So we start by just doing offset from everything and then figure out where we want to put the splits in. So we'll put in guides, which are usually centered over where, try and draw the center line of where the waterways are. Find an interesting spot to split or somewhere to split it on these kind of areas here. Then, because we knew the pattern that you were going to go with, this is where it got a little tricky. So we went in and did our normal pin line around the outside edge, which is a specific offset now from our part edge. And then based on the tooling that we're doing, whether it's a round over edge or kind of our standard cove edge that we do for the parts, we're setting up the width of those offsets for the specific tooling. And with yours, we knew that the part here was larger than our full sheet width, so we needed to split it somewhere. And you wanted a badge with your channel name on there and vessel name on there. So we took the pattern that was here, brought it up and split it apart. And then we've got where the outside edge, where the perimeter tooling is going to be, and then where the knife cut is going to be to cut through where the center line of the patterning is going to be. So it's kind of in mini layers here.
Interesting, yeah.
And we can take, these are all specific distances apart so that we can take and stack them over each other and move them all, same for the other side, move them all in so that you can see where the knife cut's going to be down the center line of the teak line or diamond line in this case. And then we're making sure that the outside perimeter that we want to cut from this teak line all the way around back to this teak line and then again through here. We're keeping this edge outside of that, which you'll see on the last sheet that was run. You probably saw it ran and then it came back and did the knife cut down the zigzag. So it's actually a pretty complex way of doing that, but the diamond patterning kind of allows us to get away with that.
When I looked at the proof, I zoomed in on the PDF you sent me and I could see the line there and I was like, is that a glitch in the PDF or is it intentional? But it didn't go through the logo.
Right.
So I was like, but now I see it's 3 pieces.
Yeah, and it's really we're thinking about it in terms of what tool we're going to use for each of those steps. So we're using a different tool for this patterning than we are for this outside perimeter, and then to cut the whole piece out. So it's kind of layering that up with the tool that you're going to be using.
Yeah, different blade to cut it.
Yeah, and it is faster for our tooling and for our draw. We know that this is a badge that's not going to be there, so it's faster to just run the tooling through an area we know we're cutting out.
Right.
Which is why a lot of times you'll see like over hardware, hatch openings, things like that, where the patterning will run through it on our files here, but then when you get to your proof, we eliminate that so that you're just seeing what you're really getting.
Yeah.
But we kind of have to have what we need to cut as well. So
So all this was what you got from the machine that Jared was using. Jared?
Yeah,
what we got from Jared was this.
Okay.
So a series of parts and pieces.
So all the things he was measuring and touching, this is what it turned into.
Yeah, this is what that day that he's out there scanning turns into. And then that just needs to get aligned to each other. So a lot of times we'll, if we can, scan an entire area that you can get with that Proliner. And then sometimes you can't get the whole area, so you grab a couple of parts from one area and get them to overlay so that then, we can take and spin this around just to show you, but where you're taking and lining up.
So you have the hardware.
Yeah, the hardware helps a lot. Yep.
Yeah. So just being able to align all those parts, make sure that we have everything in the right spot.
And then, any project we do, you show them the proof. This is what a customer gets kind of at the end, is what you guys got in the PDF is a proof of this.
Yeah, zoom that in. Make that really, there we go.
So you get a chance to look at...
All of it. Zoom out. Just get the whole, fill the whole screen with, there you go, like that.
Yeah, so you guys get a chance to review it. Check. We always tell people to check color, check the areas that you're doing, and check the pattern. And
we both double proofed it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and so that way you get the customer gets a chance to get a final look on it before we fabricate it.
And since you got this picture up, this is what my bottom of my boat looks like right now, right? So it's had Raptor decking on it for 5 years. So in this photograph, I've cleaned it all. So this is actually a clean photo, believe it, right? And is this good enough?
We'll want to clean it up from there a bit.
How?
Yeah.
Because it's down in the nubs is what the rest of it is.
You don't have to get all of the glue off. Obviously, without being there, it's a little bit hard to tell. But this is where I think using the Scotch-Brite and the acetone will clean it up probably. If there's dirt on it still, if there's like
no
dirt, you got that scrubbed out.
This was lacquer thinner and a gray, the gray colored.
Have you scrubbed it with soap and water yet?
We started with that.
Okay, yeah.
Did that, then I did the lacquer thinner.
Well, and some of that is a mistake somebody made. Thought it would be really cool to use a red rag.
Yeah, the tint, that's actually funny. So I went to Kevin, Premier Custom Ceramic Coating, and said, hey, what do I do on this? And he says, here's some lacquer thinner. He says, here's a couple of gray scrubbies. Here's a white scrubby. He says, the white one won't scratch nothing, but it'll clean. The grays will somewhat scuff.
Yeah.
And the lacquer thinner will help on the glue. And then I had some old red microfibers around. Well, the lacquer thinner and the red bleached it and gave me a pinkish tone through it. But it's going to be covered, so I don't care on that. But I just want to make sure it's clean so the adhesive
Yeah, that stuff's all underneath the nubs. And we use that sample piece, and it will stick on top of all that.
Stick really well.
Where you have
Okay.
to.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. So
we can definitely go over it a little more.
well, and on the specifically on the Ranger tugs, one of the nice things is because they did design it to fit on the non-skin. Our parts are going to be a little bit bigger, so they should cover all of the areas that are kind of exposed right now and that don't look great. So all of our spots should go over the non-skid just a little bit, so then you should cover that up.
Here, I'll go over it again.
Yep, we'll work.
I'll bring the
over it.
buffing wheel out.
Yeah. We've got some tools that we've used that have worked well for removing it completely. Adhesive removers and stuff like that can make a big mess. Sometimes it works good, but we've got some like eraser wheel type things and some stuff that we've figured out works really well to remove it completely if that's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might want to bring those then.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we will. We'll bring it back up. We'll bring back up.
Well, we'll do the best we can, but.
Yeah, totally. No, we'll make sure it's ready to go.
And here's a question. So this is on Ranger tug. Anybody know why that's there?
I was going to ask you that.
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a single photo of one where there's something mounted there
There
that would
isn't.
make sense.
I
They
don't know.
say that it's probably a quick cutout of something to get in there, but I don't understand.
There's a
how
gas
it
tank
works.
under there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe like for access to the fuel pump.
No?
not to like check coolant or anything like that on the
No.
engine or like that, huh?
No. If you know, leave in the comment section below because I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Andrew's gonna tell you.
Maybe somebody from the factory can tell me why that is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew's gonna pipe in.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks for the tour, Eric.
Yeah, thank you. All right, well, cool. Thanks, Jeff, for showing us the shop and how this stuff is made and stuff. And if somebody's interested in getting this for their boat, who do they contact? How do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, a really good way to do it is go to our website. It's blueseasfab.com, www.blueseasfab.com. And we've got a contact form on there you can fill out to get more information. It allows people to upload some pictures and, you know, their boat type and all that. And so from that, that's a good place to start because then we can look in our files and see if we have a similar boat that would at least help us estimate it for you.
Yeah. And what's the timeline? How long does a project like this usually take?
Yeah, so it depends. So like we have customers that will like bring their boat to our shop here, and usually what we try and do on those is a one week turnaround. So we got to make sure that we have the material in stock for the person's project, because if we have to custom order something, we need to plan ahead. But so on those ones on trailer boat, we'll try and do like a 1 week turnaround. For projects, depending on the time of year and how busy we are, we usually, if we're coming to the boat and we're templating it and then we're coming back and installing it, then it's going to be somewhere between 2 to 5 weeks to do the full project.
Okay.
And what that requires is like a couple hours on the boat to do the template, and then if it's not a huge project, 3 or 4 hours to prep it and install it. So it's not a lot of downtime on the boat. And then the other thing we talked about earlier is the posting up an option to purchase a kit for the 27 Ranger tug, and we'll probably roll out some other ones too. I think we'll do a 25 here soon, and get some of those basic kits online. And if people have requests for those, then reach out to us, and we'll definitely provide a discount for, especially if they'd let us use it for a template, and we can offer it to more people.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing of the Ranger tugs. At least they're all very much the same. One model to the other.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a few changes, like where the table base was mounted and things like that, but a lot of times we can kind of triangulate that with some measurements and make an adjustment in our CAD file too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks you guys for coming
Yeah,
out. It was
thanks.
great to work with you on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below.
If you enjoyed this video, click the link to watch another. And don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.